Hello.
Okay, we're recording in progress. Thank you.
I want to introduce you, Carmine. Of course, Carmine Appice, everybody. This is Docg show and Jimmy Deal. This man has been in so many bands. Vanilla Fudge, of course, with my friend Vince Martell, Pete Bremy, and tons of other bands like Rod Stewart, Jeff Beck. Welcome, Carmine.
Thank you.
It's such a pleasure to have you. By the way, you're still touring with Vanilla Fudge, are you not?
Yeah. I'm leaving tomorrow to come to New York, actually. I'm in Florida now.
Oh, so
awesome. Florida.
Me and the radio chick moved to Florida last June, right in the middle of COVID. You know?
Wow.
And how's that affecting your performances?
Say again?
How's that affecting your performances, COVID?
What do you mean, moving?
Not moving, but...
Oh, well, there was none. You know, but
exactly.
But luckily, moving here, we have a guest house. I put a studio in there, and I was able to record albums like the one we're promoting today. You know, the Energy Overload album.
We'll talk about that later. But I want to get into your start when you started with music as a Vanilla Fudge. What was your take on that when Vince, or you want to call him Vinny, started the band with you guys?
Well, Vinny was in the band. I was the last one in, you know, and it was Tim and Mark from the Choo Choo Club up in North in Garfield, New Jersey. I was playing there with my band, and they said they wanted me, they liked my singing and I liked my foot, and that I was a technical drummer, and they wanted to get into all this production numbers, they called it, which is really like progressive rock stuff, you know, that was going around the fad in Long Island by the Vagrants, believe it or not. And so I went out and played with them, and I thought it was great. So I joined them. And we had a manager that put us on a salary, you know, so whether we worked or not, we got paid. You know, it wasn't a lot of money, but it was, you know, maybe half of what we would make if we played 4 nights somewhere, you know, but it was enough to pay bills at the time, you know. And I was actually married at the time. I lived upstairs in my parents' house, but that didn't last very long anyway.
You had an incredible career.
Yeah,
incredible career. Jimmy, do you have any questions for Carmen?
Yeah, 1967, the first album. Tell us about that. Psychedelic rock band, Vanilla Fudge. Tell us about that release.
We were just doing what we did live. You know, we noticed whenever we played You Keep Me Hanging On, people would stop trying to dance to our stuff,
right, and
come up to the front of the stage and watch us, you know, do all the spastic stuff that we were doing in those days, you know. Right. And then our manager got us Shadow Morton to take us in the studio, and we did You Keep Me Hanging On as a demo.
Wow.
One take mono.
Amazing.
You know? It was like 7.5 minutes to change my life, you know.
Wow.
And then it, in those days, WOR was just starting with this Scott Muni and Murray the K, you know, and they used to put us on demo because of Shadow Morton, our producer. They knew him, and he gave it the demo to play on their like Rate a Record contest. You know, they put us on with like, you know, the Who or the Beatles, and we'd win. People would call up and You Keep Me Hanging On would win. Then Atlantic Records heard it, and they immediately signed us, and they told us we had to change the name. We were called the Pigeons.
Wow.
Pigeons. Oh, okay.
We did a gig which was late at the Village Theater with the Birds, the Seeds, and we were the Pigeons. Now, actually, we were Vanilla Fudge. We just changed our name. But had we not changed our name, it would have been the Birds, the Seeds, and the Pigeons.
That's funny.
Yeah,
that's hilarious.
Birds, Seeds, and Pigeons.
Wow.
Yeah,
what about the Ed Sullivan Show? Tell us about that. You did it twice, right?
Yeah, we did it twice. That was amazing. I mean, when we said we were going to do it, we were the first band to achieve a top 10 album without a smash single.
Wow.
You know, this album-oriented radio was starting, and we were like their baby. You know, they played half the album, You know, went to California. They played. You know, some stations played the whole album. You know,
Right.
that's when like you were PLJ. PLJ wasn't even around yet. You know?
Right.
And you know, so we went there. We rehearsed 4 days, and then on the 5th day we played on the Sunday. And I remember going down in the elevator. And elevator operators then, they didn't have
Right.
push button. There was a black elevator operator, and I said, hey, so how many people watch this show? And he says, oh, about 50 million. My stomach went like, whoa, you know, until I hit the drums. And when I hit the drums, I forgot about all that. We kicked butt. Next day, we sold 250, 300,000 singles.
Oh my God! Wow.
It was ridiculous. And then
Amazing.
the next year, we did it again. You know, that time we had Shotgun was in the top 20.
Amazing.
What idea was it, Carmine, to do cover songs or recover the songs in your own distinctive way?
Well, it was a fad going on in Long Island. The Rascals started it. You know, they did like Midnight Hour and Mustang Sally. They did their own way. But then the Vagrants took what the Rascals did and made it more of a production number, more slowed down, bigger, longer, more powerful, more dynamic. They would do like Respect and Satisfaction, like bum, 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 bum. You know, it got scary, you know.
Wow.
So we did that same concept. That's why Mark and Timmy wanted me in the band, because they knew I could play all this stuff that they wanted to do. And I sang. So we had 4-part harmony. We all had the same vibrato, because I used to sing doo-wop in Brooklyn, in the subways. Wow. Church Avenue subway was my favorite place.
Great.
You know? And so we started doing songs. You know, we did She's Not There and Ticket to Ride. And then we got hired to do this gig in Newport, Rhode Island at a club called Dorian's, where we play Wednesday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. And we were there for a month, and we would play 4 shows a night. So in those shows, we would do I Think I'm Going Out of My Head by Little Anthony, Imperial, Slow Down. You know, we would do One More Heartache. We do Midnight Hour. We do Mustang Sally. We would do It's Growing by the Temptations, you know. And then after the show, we'd all party. We had a house that they gave us to stay. It was a decrepit kind of house, but it was right on the water in Newport. And we used to smoke a lot of pot and drink some wine and listen to the Beatles' Revolver album. And from that album, and smoking all the pot and everything, we started coming up with all these crazy psychedelic arrangements, which included the vocals. You know, we came up with You Keep Me Hanging On then. Wow. You know, and you know, we played them live, and then we noticed people would stop dancing and come up to the stage and see us. And then we played clubs like Ungano's in New York, which was a legendary club. Which we have a place. Leslie has a place in the Upper West Side. On the next block was Ungano's. Now it's a restaurant. You know, but we used to play there, and you know, and then little by little, we got a following in Newport, Rhode Island, where we drew up to 1,000 people back in 1966 before we had any records out. Mm-hmm. And then we had another following up in like the Poughkeepsie area. And Long Island, we started getting the following. My manager owned the Action House, which is a club out there. And then we did the record, and then bam, you know, it just started taking off. And
when you were doing those clubs in New York,
we didn't have a clue.
Wow. When you were doing those clubs in New York, at one point, didn't you play alongside Jimi Hendrix?
Yes, I did that. You know, there was up in the West, was the 77th and Broadway. There's a club called the Lighthouse, and we played there. You must have read my book.
Great book.
And we used to play there. And Jimmy was Jimmy James and the Blue Flames.
Wow.
And he went around. I just talked to Joey D the other night.
Really?
He's going to be on our show. And he used to have Jimi Hendrix and all the Rascals with Dino in his bands. He said, I have 7 people in my band that are in the Rock Hall of Fame. Yeah.
Hey, Carmine, tell us a little bit about your show.
Well, our show's called Hanging and Banging. It's on, you can see it every Thursday night, 7 o'clock on my Facebook, Carmine Appice Official, YouTube, Hanging and Banging on YouTube. See it on my brother's Facebook, Vinny Appice. And it's me, Vinny, and this guy, Ron Onesti, that owns a bunch of venues in the Midwest that we all played at. He's a great guy. And he's like the host, and we all just hang. We just hang. We don't like, it's not like interviews, We start talking about something, then we goof, we laugh, we goof off, Vinny cracks jokes. We make fun of our other host, who wears t-shirts and, and it's funny, it's a real good show. We did 68 episodes, man.
Gotta check it out. I was just telling Jimmy, me and Jimmy were just talking about, because we're both DJs, and of course he's a more famous DJ than I am, but we have a lot of friends that are DJs from Philadelphia, New York, all over the country, really. Why don't we just put a show together where we just talk about old stories and old bands that came in and just
that's what we do.
DJ stories. And
tomorrow night we have Don McLean and Joe Bonamassa.
Wow, that's great.
I mean, we've had Paul Schaefer and Darlene Love. We've had Ted Nugent. We had Bonamassa when Tim passed away. We had Bonamassa, Warren Haynes from Government Mule. We had, what's the guy that wrote all the Bon Jovi hits? I forget his name. And we had him on. We had Ted Nugent. We've had, I can't even remember. We had Tommy Thayer from Kiss. We've had Bruce Kulick from Kiss, Eric Singer. We had Derek Serenian, Sons of Apollo. We've had Billy Sheehan, Tony Franklin. Just goes on and on.
Sounds like a fun show.
Yeah, we had Dion on last week.
Really?
2 weeks ago.
Dion, oh my God, he don't go anywhere.
That was unbelievable.
He doesn't do anything.
And his stories were unbelievable. We had also G.E. Smith from Saturday Night Live, the band leader.
Okay, very cool. We're gonna check your show out. We're gonna check it out.
Absolutely.
Go to YouTube.
Are you allowed to comment too on your show when you do it?
Yeah, and people comment, and we see some of it, and it's hilarious. Sometimes we laugh so much, it's like a comedy show, And like we did an organ show, we did Mark Stein, Felix Cavalieri, and Scott from the Ides of March. We did a B3 show.
Oh, wow.
And we did a bass player show. We had Billy Sheehan, Jorgen from Government Mule, and Tony Franklin, And we've done a guitar show with Doug Aldridge, and we got Marky Ramone and Clem Burke.
Clem Burke from Blondie.
Yeah, Blondie and Marky Ramone.
Mark Ramone from the Ramones. Yeah, awesome.
Wow.
Also
cool. Nico McBrain from Iron Maiden. I mean, everybody's. Come on, we did 68 episodes, 69 episodes. That's like how many? Usually 13 to a season. How many seasons is that?
Yeah,
so we did like 5 seasons. So now we're thinking we're figuring out a way to try and bring it maybe to cable TV. Because it's a cheap show to do. We have a background, we have an intro, we have all that stuff, and it looks great, and it's live, And like on holidays, we pick a show, and like on Thanksgiving, we won't do Thanksgiving, we'll pick a show. And when I'm on the road and Vinny's on the road, we can't make it, we pick a show and do a rerun,
Well, Carmine, you said it. People love to hear the stories. So do you have any stories that you did with Vanilla Fudge on the road that you can share with anybody about anything?
Buy the book.
Buy the book. Well, that's okay. Right?
I just shared the Ed Sullivan, Yeah, I just shared how we started. Those are stories, But I was in the New York Post
little tidbits.
I was in the New York Post today. There's this new book just came out about Led Zeppelin.
Oh, wow.
That Mudshark thing was in there again. And I did interviews with the guy, and I turned him on to some other people like Jeff Beck's manager and all that. And hopefully he's going to do my next book, which is going to be Guitar Zeus, which is my album. That's, I have a 25th anniversary box set coming out in 2 weeks. And it's going to be Guitar Zeus, the book, my life, with I don't know what the subtitle is going to be like. Like my book is Stick It, My Life of Sex, Drums, and Rock and Roll. It's going to be Guitar Zeus, the book, My Life of Guitars or something, guitarists. And then I made a list of all the guitar players I played with. I was impressed myself. I said, oh my God, this is a lot of people. And this guy said he would write the book with me. He wrote a book called The Beatles, sold 1 million copies. His Led Zeppelin book's going to sell a lot. He got a huge advance. And he said, I'll get the deal for you. I said, okay, let's go. So
Nice.
I talked to him 2 weeks ago, and he called me. He wanted to send me an autographed copy of the Led Zeppelin book. And I said, so we still on to do this? He says, yeah, just let me recuperate from writing his Led Zeppelin book. It's like 600 pages, huge, you know. And then he said, well, we're going to do it. I said, okay, I'm in no rush, you know. But, you know, it's just all these crazy ideas I keep coming up with, you know.
Never stops, Carmine. Never stops. Jimmy, do you have any more questions for me?
Yeah, I just want to say so many amazing people on the Guitar Zeus. I mean, you have
Yeah.
so many great people. I mean, from Slash to Ted Nugent to
Well,
Richie
that's a story.
Sambora.
Well, let's go ahead, finish your question.
So, I mean, tell us about that. Tell us about working with all those
Or
people.
comment, probably, right?
Okay.
Yeah.
Even better is how did it happen?
Yeah, exactly.
That's like you want to know some tidbit story. This is an unbelievable story. I had a band in 1992 with Jeff Watson from Night Ranger, Joe Lynn Turner, Bob Daisley from Ozzy and Rainbow and all that, and me. And I was trying to get a solo deal. I had a solo album in 82. This is 92. Now, who's big? Nirvana, Pearl Jam. We're all like dinosaurs. Nobody wants to know from us.
Right.
We're all has-beens, you know?
Right.
So I spent most of the 90s in Japan working, making things, which Guitar Zeus was one of them. So Jeff Watson comes out of Night Ranger, comes out, Shrapnel gives him a record deal straight away. I said, this is ridiculous. I said, I've been trying to get another solo album for 10 years. You come out of Night Ranger, you got a solo album like that. I said, what do I got to be, a guitar player to get a solo album? I said, maybe I should do a guitar album. I'm talking to Joel and Turner and Bob, and I'm just kidding. So maybe I should do a guitar album. I'll call it Guitar Gods. And we were screwing around with the name Zeus for Mother's Army.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know why we picked Mother's Army. I think Zeus is a better name. Anyway, I said, I'll call it Guitar Zeus, you know? So then I can do guitar interviews in guitar magazines, drum magazines, and rock magazines. And we all laughed, and we went around our business. That night I went to bed. I'm laying there and I'm going, it's a freaking good idea. How can I facilitate this, you know? And for the next 2 years, I worked on facilitating. You know, I couldn't find a manager to do it. Now, I was going to Japan to do a tour in it was 82, you know, and I wanted to use this guy, Doug Aldrich, who was unknown at the time almost. He was in a group that was well known in Japan. And he said, I can't go, you know, but I was talking to his manager. I said to his manager, I said, well, Doug is big in Japan. I said, listen, I got this idea. I told him the idea. He said, I can get a deal for that. I said, really? I'll get it out of Japan. Okay. So in the 2 years that built up to that, I was doing clinics, you know. I did a clinic in Rochester at House of Guitars. Who else was doing a clinic there? It was Brian May. I knew Brian. So I said, hey, Brian, I might do this album. You know, I'm working on getting a deal for it. You know, would you play on it if I did it? I said, yeah, I'll play on it. And I ran into Ted Nugent somewhere, and he said he'd play on it. Ran into the King's X guys. You know, I knew really well. They said they play on. King's X were happening at that time. And I thought, if I can get Brian, Ted, and the King's X guys on there, that's like a calling card for other guys to come on, you know?
Right.
So when he got the deal, then I said, well, I asked Tony Franklin because, you know, I love Tony's playing Blue Murder. We created such a ruckus with Blue Murder, you know, and we never really toured that I wanted to put Tony on it. And I did. And then I got Kelly Keeling, who was in Blue Murder also. I realized he's a great songwriter and a rhythm guitar player and a great singer. There's a song on the second Blue Murder called I'm on Fire, which he sings the shit out of it. And he's playing on it and it sounds amazing. So I got him and we went to Japan and did this tour. And so when we got back, this guy Warren got me the deal and I started working with Kelly on songs. And we got Ted first, Brian second, and the King's X guys third. And then people started hearing about it. And, Yngwie was working with Kelly, right? And Yngwie said, I'll do it. I want to do it. he got him, and that enticed other guys. Said, well, now you got Yngwie. And we called Slash, and Slash said, yeah, I'll do it.
So cool.
And then we went on, and before you know, we had a whole album's worth of stuff.
Wow.
And it did great in Japan. And went in Burn magazine was like #3. We got deals in Europe and deals all around the world. It did well. And then Warren got us a second deal in Japan, and then we did the second album. And it's been going ever since. And now I got 25th anniversary box set coming out with Deco Records. And if you go to my Facebook, every day they put another guitar player on my Facebook.
Tell us how you got involved with Rod Stewart, Carmine, for 1976 album, Blondes Have More Fun.
Is this going to be radio or video?
It's radio and video.
Okay, well, now I'm standing up stretching my legs. I've been doing these Zoom things for 3 hours. I have to stretch.
Oh, that's all right. That's okay.
Yeah. No anyway, so now the Guitar Zeus is coming out, and hopefully, if we sell 1,000 of them, we'll be laughing, worldwide.
Great.
Anyway, Rod Stewart, that was a no-brainer, really. It was, I knew Rod from 1968. I always loved Rod. And we toured with the Faces, with Cactus. We did 40, 50, 60 shows. We partied together. We wrecked hotel rooms, wrecked cars together, wrecked trucks. Did all the stuff you did back then, and didn't think about the fact that you had to pay for it. Otherwise, I would have had a lot more money than I have. Anyway, so I lived in LA at the time. My friend Sandy Gennaro, you know that name, Sandy Gennaro?
Yeah, I'm friends with Sandy. Yeah, sure.
Okay, so
I interviewed him.
Yeah, so Sandy lived in LA at the time. I saw him on the street. Hey, Sandy, what are you doing? Yeah, I'm good. What are you up to? He goes, well, I just auditioned for Rod Stewart. I said, no kidding. Did you get it? He says, no. And I was with the KGB. And it was probably one of the worst projects I ever did in my career. I had Mike Bloomfield originally, Rick Rich. They were both drug addicts, and Mike was an idiot.
Yeah.
We did a second album. We toured him out, did a second album. And then I was ready for something else. And so Sandy said, yeah, I didn't get it. I said, oh, wow. He said, you should talk to him. You should call the guy. You should audition. I said, who's the guy? Who's the contact? He said, well, this guy, Pete Buckland. I said, oh, freak, I know Pete Buckland. He's the Faces tour manager. We abused women and wrecked cars and wrecked hotels together. Give me the number. She gives me the number. I call Pete. I said, hey, Pete, it's Carmine Appice. How you doing? He goes, I'm good. I said, Rod's looking for a drummer and you guys don't call me? He goes, oh, you're always busy. I said, look, I'm not busy now. I'd love to play with Rod. I always loved Rod. He goes, all right, hold on. Let me call Rod. He's in England. So he calls Rod and he calls me back. He said, look, the band so far, we don't have the drummer yet, but the rest of the band is at Rod's house here in Beverly Hills. So Rod said, go over there and check out the band. I said, that's a switch. I'm going to check out the band instead of them checking out me. So I said, okay. So I thought, well, I'm going to Rod Stewart's house, some kind of mansion in Beverly Hills. I got to take a good car. So I had a Pantera and a Jaguar, and I said, I'll take the Pantera. So I drove the Pantera, pulled up to these huge gates. I said, wow. I didn't know Rod was just, successful. In essence, that house only cost him $600,000 back then. He probably sold it for 25 million.
Oh my God.
But anyway, so I walk in there and I was totally impressed by the house. And then Pete meets me in the driveway. He said, yeah, come meet the band. I said, who's in the band? He goes, what's this guy, Phil Chen? I said, oh, I know Phil Chen. I was doing Blow by Blow with Jeff Beck with Phil Chen. And Jim Cregan, I know Jim Cregan. While I was doing Blow by Blow, I did a show at the Palladium in London with Jim Cregan. So I go in there, I see Phil and Jim. Hey, how you guys doing? Blah, blah, blah. We have a play. Sounded great. And I'm thinking to myself, here these guys, his band, Rod's not even there. They're staying at his house, right? And they're there playing tennis and hanging out at the pool. And I said, I want to be in this band, So we played. It was good. It was like Cactus, So Rod comes back and we have a play. And he said, hey, look, if you want the gig, you got it, And he actually gave the band a percentage of the road, which he didn't have to do. And he was very fair. And he said, that's when I started calling myself Appice. He said, you know, you got to get one way to say your name. Everyone's Appice, 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 you know.
Oh, yeah, all different.
So he said, I said, most people call me Appice. So he said, let's do that.
Mm.
So we did that. And he said, you'll get a solo every night. And I know you'll leave the audience, you know, rocking after the solo. So if you want it, you got it. Just play like you did in Cactus. I said, let's go. So we did it. We signed a little one letter agreement, everyone in the band. And the next 7 years, I was playing arenas. 5 nights at the Garden, 6 nights at the Forum, 5 nights at Cobo Hall, stadiums all over the world. It was unbelievable. Private jets, private planes.
Wow.
You know? So,
you also co-wrote some songs too.
Long way from the Choo Choo Club.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, and then Rod used to always say, I want a song like this, I want a song like that. So 2 times he said, I want a song like Missing You. I come back and the thing would change. I went to my friend Dwayne's little studio, put it down, gave it to Rod, he loved it. That was Do You Think I'm Sexy?
Oh, wow. Okay.
Then 2 albums later, he said, I want a song like this real punky kind of new wave song. And me and Dwayne wrote Young Turks.
Nice.
So there's another. So we had 2 top 10, 1 number 1, 2 top 10. Those songs made a lot of money, you know, and gave me a lot of credibility. And
nice.
Still receiving money from ASCAP on those songs.
Oh, so great.
I mean, then I sold the rights back to EMI and to Warner Brothers on those songs because mechanicals, you know, when people buy records now, it's nothing because nobody buys records anymore. Even if the number 1 record is like 30,000 records. 30,000 records equals about $2,000 in sales for songs, you know? So I'm better off selling it back and buying real estate. You know? So I do that on the side, you know?
Oh, okay, cool.
And I bought Bitcoin 5 years ago.
Well, you know, I was just telling Jimmy about that. I have friends that are hedge fund managers, and they're telling me, they said, listen, we don't believe in Bitcoin, but I got to tell you, get in it.
I bought it 5 years ago. Right now, it's 900% up.
Wow.
Jimmy, there's another guy.
Luckily, I didn't buy a lot of money worth it. You know, I bought a few $1,000s. But if I would have bought like 20 grand's worth, I would have been worth like 180 grand now.
Oh, wow.
I know. I put $30 in now. I got 500 in there now.
So great.
You did?
I did 30 yesterday.
Hey? Yesterday.
And I got 500 some dollars now, almost 600 bucks.
Today.
In one day.
Exactly.
Amazing.
In one day.
It's unbelievable.
My wife is like going crazy. She's like, are you kidding me? I said, nope.
Leslie's got some. We bought some 5 years ago. She didn't buy as much as I did. My son, my daughter bought some. They're all up 9 times what they put in.
Now, just let me ask you this question. Which ones do you think are the ones that you should invest in?
I bought all different ones. I bought Bitcoin, a little bit of Bitcoin. I mean, I own maybe 44% of one Bitcoin.
Okay.
Yeah, I got a Ethereum.
Ethereum, yeah.
Ethereum and Litecoin.
Shiba and the other one that they recommended was Dogecoin. Dogecoin.
Yeah, well, I bought these 5 years ago.
I know, but I'm just saying, I'm just
leaving it there. When I was studying it, you know, to buy it, they said that someday one Bitcoin is going to be 100 grand. Right now it's 67 grand.
Mm-hmm. Wow.
So
it's coming quick.
I said, well, I'll buy it when it hits 100 grand, then maybe I'll sell it. But then I don't know. I don't need it. You know, once I don't need it, it keeps going up. I mean, there was one point I bought it, went up to like 3 times what I paid for it, 300%. And then it went down and went down and down. Then it went under. I was down by 2 grand, you know, and it kept going out 2 grand, 2,500, 3 grand, and then 4 grand up, you know, and then it started going up. And then it hit a plateau of like 20 grand. Then it went down to you know, like 15 grand.
Yeah.
You know, and then went to 10. Then it hung around 10. And then it went up and up and up more. And then it came down, and then higher, and then came down. So it keeps going like this, but keeps climbing, you know? So I said, I'll just keep it there. You know?
My uncle, my
and I
Italian
don't
uncle years ago.
understand it either.
Well, my uncle used to say, one thing you got to have is patience. Just let it sit there and let it do what it's going to do. And then when you go back and look at it, you're going to say, oh my God, you're going to be amazed.
And then there was times in the stock market, you know, I don't have any, like regular, I have a pension plan in the stock market. And, you know, last year when it went down, when COVID hit, it went way down, I sold. I just stayed on the sidelines. And everyone said, you shouldn't have sold. You should have stayed in. It's going to come back. I'm still on my way back. You know, I shouldn't have sold. But patience, I guess, right? But, you know, it's crazy. But I've been blessed. You know, I had a great career. And I played with some great people, had a great time. And I'm still playing. You know, I'm not playing the big arenas now. I wish I was, you know, but because life playing with the arenas is much easier. You know, you're in a Learjet, you're in your own private plane, you know, you get picked up at private airports, taken to best hotels. You have a masseuse on the road with you, you know, it's just a lot easier. You know, good food every night. I mean, we get food every night, you get taken care of. You know, you're riding around in a Sprinter van now. You know, it's a little different. But you know, but it still beats a day job. I remember when I don't know, I got out of high school. I was playing 4 nights a week. I was making $200 a week, and then I would get up also for a day job. You know, I never went to college, so I just had a stock boy, one job. Mm-hmm. Wednesday night I played. Thursday morning I was fried. So I get into the work and I'm like, you know, sleeping at the desk. The guy come hit me on the head. I get to work, and on Monday it's the same thing. And then I go home. You know, minimum wage was $1.25. You know, gas was 25 cents. You know, so I bring home after taxes $45. Wow. Get up every day at 6 o'clock, leave at 7, get there at 8:30, come back by 7, every day, 5 days a week. So one day I said to my father, I said, look, I said, Pop, I work all week for $45. I could work 4 nights a week or 3 nights a week and make $150 or $200 cash. What do you think I should do? He said, well, the 250 or 200 seems better. I said, thank you. I quit my job. That was 1964.
Wow.
So tell me a little bit about since. So tell me a little bit about your new album.
Yeah, by the way. Well, I moved to Florida. I got a studio here. I recorded the new single for Vanilla Fudge in there.
Right.
And I was learning to operate it. I had done 2 songs when this guy, Fernando Perdomo, called me via Tom Dowd, the great producer's daughter.
Fernando, yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so Fernando called me and wanted me to play on a couple of tracks. And I said, look, I got this new studio, so let's see how it goes. Why don't I send you something that I wrote on my iPad? You can play it, and then I'll, you know, that's it. You can play it, and then I'll put my drums on, see how it sounds. So we did that. It was great. You guys heard that record yet?
I have not heard all of it yet. I've heard maybe a couple tracks.
Yeah. So anyway, so we did that. That came out great. And I did a second song, came out great. And I wrote. Then he sent me a song he wrote. And then I added some just drums to the song he wrote. It's called Little Havana. I added this really fast Cactus Parchment Farm boogie kind of thing to it. Then he wrote some guitar to it. And I said, wow, that's great. I said, I got some other drum tracks. Why don't you write to them? So he did those, and that became the first video, you know. And then we kept doing it back and forth. He's got a studio. I got a studio. He came to Florida. He was from Miami. He has family there. And I met him, and he looks like a big old rabbi, you know, a wild-looking dude. But he played bass, guitar, and keyboards. Awesome. He plays drums too. He's a producer, you know, so he's making a living in LA. So long story short, we recorded 18 songs. I said, you know what? I'm going to call my buddies at Cleopatra and see if we can get this out. So I made a deal with them, and we picked 12 songs, and we got it out. And now we're promoting it. And we got 6 songs for a new album already, you know?
What songs are you pushing from that album? I know you're pushing them all, but what songs particularly are you trying to push?
We pushed, the first video was Rocket to the Sun. And today, there was supposed to be another video release of Flower Child, but I didn't see it or hear about it. So somebody fucked up. I called the label this morning, not this morning, before I started doing these interviews. I said, what's going on? Today was supposed to be released. Today's November 9th, right? I said, yeah. I said, well, I didn't see any press release of it going out. I didn't see anything that the video's being premiered. It's supposed to be premiered on Goldmine magazine. I said, I'm not seeing nothing. So I said, let's look into it. We may have to move it to another date. I said, I hope so. So it's a really good video. It's a good song, killer song. You know? You guys play music on this show? Or
yeah, on Hamilton Radio we do. Yeah, I got Rocket to the Sun here, but it unfortunately the MP3 label only says Rocket to the Sun tape 002 group master. It doesn't say who's on it or anything. It doesn't say your name. So I got to try to go in there and redo it.
Where's it on? What's it on?
I believe I downloaded it from John Lappin.
Oh.
You got my email. You can send me the MP3. That would be great. I'll play it. But I have it here. It's about 3 minutes, 13 seconds.
You can get it off of YouTube too.
Well, they don't allow you to do that anymore. You can't.
Oh, really?
You can't record anything anymore from there.
Oh, no kidding. Wow.
So because they had that violation of people doing that, and of course artists weren't selling the songs.
Okay, I have your email. I'll send you an MP3 of the whole thing.
Send me MP3 of both songs or all of them if you can, and I'll reach out to Fernando too.
I'll send you the whole thing.
Thank you. I appreciate that. Yeah. Jimmy, any other questions? Because I don't want to hold him up too long.
Sure. Carmine, you did some Christian music. Tell us about that.
How do you know?
Oh, I just know.
Okay. Well, when I moved down here, I've been a Christian since 2008. I've been Catholic all my life, Christian.
Right.
I became more into it after I was on the road. My brother had these massive nosebleeds. I almost died on the road. I prayed to God. Leslie helped save me and blah, blah, blah. So I started listening to the Bible and everything. So when I came down here, the dog trainer we have for our dog said, he saw me watching the Christian church that we had in Connecticut. Said, oh man, there's a great church down here. You want to come? I said, sure. I went. This church was unbelievable. I mean, it was like a revival. The band was amazing. They had electronic drums, and I said, that ain't gonna work. So I called D-Drum, and I got the church a set of real drums. And I found out this drummer was amazing. The singer was amazing. And I'd written this one song already. So I asked Fernando to play on it. So I had the drums and everything, but the vocals on it. And I got the singer at the church, who's an amazing singer, sing on it. And we got some of the girls to sing on the background. And Fernando got the chick that sang on our album to sing backgrounds. And then I wrote 2 other songs. And I got the same thing. Fernando did tracks. And then I did the lead vocalist. And then the 3rd track, I got the guitar player from the church to come over, and we wrote this song with this chick, Lisa G that I'm producing. She's a Christian too, and this new song is awesome. So then I got these 3 great songs with great mixes, and I don't know what to do with it. I don't know anybody in the Christian market. I did know that guy Warren that did my guitars yesterday, but he's turned out to be some sort of flake.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I gave him the songs the other night. He said, I'll call you back. And I said, yeah. I said, look, you become a flake lately. You don't follow through on anything. He said, no, I'll get back to you over the weekend. I haven't heard. Today's Tuesday. I still haven't heard from him. So
amazing. Wow.
Amazing, but the great songs. But I think when I come back from this Vanilla Fudge thing, I'm going to try and do with the church. Is he wants me to do a testify on video on how I almost died, how I became saved basically by Christ that night,
Right.
And that do a testify and then play the songs that I wrote at the church. But I suggesting that we give the songs to the churchgoers by email so they know the song because they sing all the songs.
Oh, awesome.
And these songs are easy songs to sing with choruses and stuff. So I said, if we can get that on video, and I use that as a demo, and maybe I can, get some Christian labels and send them that as a demo and say, look, this is how good these songs are. The whole church is singing them.
Oh, awesome. Check out Daystar. I'm sure they might be interested. Who knows?
Who?
Daystar, the TV station Daystar.
I don't know who that is.
Yeah, it's a cable station that does religious
really?
music. They do a lot of religious music. Yeah, and
wow.
sure they would be interested. Absolutely.
The other thing is too, we were actually doing Sundays. We're still doing it. We still do churches on Sundays at our studio here in Hamilton, in New Jersey. And we, like I said, we have Vince Martell on with his Peg, and that was a Christian radio show, but that was also audio and visual because they were good to do the visual there too. I'll reach out to my friend John Acunzo that put that together, and also a friend.
There's a radio show where they just play Christian music.
Correct. Yes.
Oh, good. Yeah.
And that might be perfect for you because they always look for Christian artists. Yeah.
Well, once I have them all done, they're really great songs.
I'll hook you up with them. They're really, really great guys.
Christian drumming is different. I'm going to write a drum book with the drummer from the church, because there's no drum books about how to play Christian drums.
Oh, okay.
And I go there every week, Actually, I'm having a 75th birthday party down here.
God bless you, Carmine.
So cool.
I invited the pastor there, the main pastor, and the guy that sang on it, and the drummer, and they're all coming to the I got a funk band playing. And it's going to be fun.
Great. How often do you guys get back to New York?
Well, whenever we have to. I was there last week, a week and a half ago, with the Fudge rehearsing. And then we played, I went back, and I came here, and then we're going there tomorrow. We're playing New York next week at Sony Hall, and so I'll be there Wednesday and Thursday. I'll leave Friday, I come back Sunday, and then I'll be there until the 18th when I go back home.
Carmine, do you any chiller cons, like in different areas? Chiller cons?
What?
Chiller cons. They're called chiller.
Oh, the chiller things.
Yeah.
What about it?
You ever do them?
Yeah, I do. I did a couple of them in Jersey.
Oh, okay. The Parsippany one?
Cool. Yeah. I did those. I did a new thing with my brother called Rock and Pod. It was a podcast chiller thing. And we sat there and saw autographs all day, and they had some things going on in the evening.
Yes.
Billy Sheehan and Greg Bissonette did it also.
Oh, Greg Bissonette. Yeah, okay.
Yeah, that was in Nashville. That was the first thing I did this year. It was wild, wearing the mask, staying behind the counter, taking pictures with people up front. That's what we're doing with the Fudge now. Take a picture, stay in front of the table, facing that way, behind the table.
Wow.
That's really, really cool. So Carmine, we're going to let you go, but if you can do a sweeper for us, I'd appreciate it.
What do you want to say?
Just basically say, Carmine, your name, and you're listening to Hamilton Radio, and then I'll put your music on there with that.
Why is it Hamilton Radio?
It's just called Hamilton Radio.
Why?
25 years ago, I had a station called Feel Good Music. It didn't go anywhere, so that's why I named it Hamilton Radio. No particular reason other than I live in Hamilton.
But why Hamilton?
Because there's
popping your head. I want to call it Hamilton Radio. I mean, it's got to be a reason.
Well, I lived in Hamilton, and I wanted the local government to get involved. But then I found out every city has a Hamilton in it, and a lot of the countries like Canada have a Hamilton in it.
Where are you now?
I'm in Hamilton, New Jersey.
Where are you?
I'm in Canarsie, Brooklyn.
Oh, that's crazy.
Yeah. I do my show out of New York. He does it in New Jersey.
Okay, fine.
So, yeah.
And what show do you have?
I have a show called Celebrity Spotlight that we do every Monday night, and
you make money with it. You guys make money with this?
We're trying. We're trying to get some sponsors.
It's hard, Carmen.
But we usually have a celebrity on every Monday night. I feature, which is pretty awesome. We've had everybody on from Engelbert Humperdinck to Frank Stallone.
No kidding.
We just had John Sebastian was just on. We've had so many people.
Gary Lewis.
Gary Lewis was on.
How'd you get John Sebastian?
I just contacted him. I met him once at Westbury. He was doing a show at Westbury Music Fair.
I know John. I'd like to get him on our show.
Yeah. You know what? If you want,
I don't have any contact on him.
I could put you in with a contact. I have a contact for him.
All right, good.
So, yeah, I'll hook you up with that.
But we have a staff agent that does that. Like she got Joe Bonamassa. I play with him, for a minute.
Awesome.
There's a YouTube video of Bonamassa, Bogan, a priest in Superstition. He was going to be in the band, and then his manager said, "Doesn't fit in with our plans." 2 years later, he's huge. I don't know what to do.
Go figure, right, Carmen?
Yeah, right. So,
I also just wanted to ask you before you go. Of course, you're married to the radio chick. I have to ask this, Leslie. I know Leslie. Is she doing radio?
No, she's doing a podcast.
Oh, okay.
That she's not making money with the podcast itself, but the business she set up. It's called A Life's Story.
Oh, okay.
And it's about people over 85 who had amazing lives, really unique things. Like one guy that was a Holocaust survivor, and on the death train, there was 3,000 people, 18 got off. He was one of them.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, another woman who was Japanese. When Pearl Harbor was attacked, they put all the Japanese in camps in America.
Crazy.
Another guy that was in World War II as a fighter pilot, comes out, decides to become a woman, gets divorced, right, and ends up being a woman all his life, gets married, blah blah blah, and the husband dies. He tries to get Social Security, they wouldn't give it to him because he had a sex change.
Right.
She fought it and won. And 99 was in the Guinness Book of Records for the oldest living fighter pilot.
Wow.
And the oldest living flight teacher.
Oh, wow.
Right?
So
and just
awesome.
before the 100th birthday, she died.
Oh, no.
But she heard that broadcast that Leslie did. Anyway,
oh, nice.
So she did that, and she's on. I forgot what station. With the podcast station.
Okay.
But she was number 19 in the country for audio documentaries. 6,500 audio documentaries. So she was number 19. But from that business, she spawned another business, which is the one that makes the money, which is like, let's say you have a father and mother that are 95 years old, and you want to get their story in their own words put down in the audio documentary. She'll do that, and she'll charge X amount of dollars to do that.
Oh, okay.
So she's done 8 or 10 of those already.
Amazing.
Nice.
Wow.
Very nice.
And she's done 13 episodes of the series. Now she's going to start working on the second series, but then she's also now doing like speeches at synagogues to sell the idea of the audio documentary about your parents to people in there and to the old people themselves that want to leave something for their family. Wow. Like my mother died, I had a message on one of those little mini cassettes with her voice on it. And then I lost it. Oh. But if you have an audio documentary of your parents, and she does the interview. She sets up the questions.
Oh, so
she
cool.
She does it like a talk show.
Wow.
And she puts the music to it and the dynamics and narrating. And it's just awesome. You should go check it out. Look up on Apple Music. Leslie Gold, A Life Story. She started doing that. And I mean, I listened to all the episodes. They're freaking awesome. She's such a great talker.
Yeah, she is. We miss her on the radio here in New York.
Yeah, I know, but there is no radio anymore.
I know. Tell me about it. That's why I'm hanging out here at Hamilton Radio.
That's true. You're right.
It's terrible. That's why there's no icons at rock. Rock is dead.
Yeah.
Gene Simmons, right?
Yeah.
It's dead that way. It's not dead like if you're a big 80s band, you're still doing good. You still draw people.
Exactly.
But that's why I'm going to bring King Cobra out next year.
Well, best of luck to you, Carmine. Thank you for being here.
Yeah, you got it, bros.
We appreciate you. And Keep on rocking.
I didn't say the Hamilton thing.
Whenever you're ready.
Yeah. It's Carmine Appice, and you're on Hamilton Radio. Yes.
Thank you.
Great. Thanks, Carmine. Take care.
Send me that music too. Send me the music so I can start playing.
I'll do it right now.
Thank you.
Okay.
And Jimmy, I'll give you his email. Then you can.
Yeah, I'll send you the contact for John Sebastian.
Yeah, you got it. Great.
Okay.
Right.
Take care, Carmine. Bye-bye. Have a good night.
Bye. Thanks, Carmine.
Take care.